Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be another Battle 5 review video. I mean, I know technically the last video I did was a review video. It actually is more of a rant video if you really think about it, especially with its 53-minute long time length. That's not a review. I know my Kingdom Come Deliverance videos are long with their quote-unquote reviews, but there's a lot more to cover in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I'm more excited about that game than I am about Battlefield 5. So, with that being said, for those of you who actually want to hear a review about Battlefield 5 and don't want to hear all the gibberish I talk about on the complaining I talk about Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and Call of Duty, I figured I'll do a much shorter video covering the basics with a review. Now I know that in that video, the 53-minute long video I posted on Sunday, or technically Monday morning, I believe. I actually don't remember when I posted it, but whatever I posted it. My days run into each other with the shift I'm on, so I get confused a lot. But I know I gave a rating to that, which I'm going to stick to that rating, but I give more backing to the actual gameplay as to why the rating is as it is. Now, for starters, I will let you guys know I play on Xbox One and the PC, so my reviews will be more catered to the two games, or two consoles, or platforms, I should say. And I know people are going to say, well, isn't it the same on PC and Xbox One, other than the fact that obviously PC looks better? Yes and no. I've noticed some issues with the Xbox One that the PC doesn't seem to have as far as glitches are concerned. But we'll get into that a little more later on in the video. For now, let's just go ahead and get right into it. My goal is to keep this under 20 minutes. I'm hoping for a lot less than that, but 20 minutes is the goal. So we'll go ahead and get started with the actual review. Now, the game as a whole, when it came out, like I said before, I was super excited that it's back in World War II. I'm a huge fan of the Battlefield series. There are a few games I don't care for in the Battlefield series, to include Battlefield 1 and Hardline. You've already heard me complain about Battlefield 1, so I'm not going to get too much into it. As for actual gameplay itself, we'll start off with the war stories. Again, if you actually were brave enough to watch the whole 53-minute video I just posted not that long ago about Battlefield 5, you hear that I'm not overall impressed with the war stories. Now, granted, I don't buy Battlefield for the single player, as is Battlefield from its beginnings was never a single player game. I mean, not that I can remember. I mean, it's been a while since I played 1942, but as far as I know about 1942, it was strictly single player. There's no campaign. The campaigns didn't start, again, as far as I can remember, the Battlefield Bad Company, and it kind of became a thing there. Bad Companies was a pretty good campaign. Bad Company 2 was a really good campaign. 3 was decent. 4 was entertaining, I guess. It was pretty to look at. 1, the war stories were interesting and I enjoyed them quite a lot. They weren't as good as campaigns can be, but they weren't bad either. Battlefield 5's campaigns continue to decline as far as I'm concerned, like I've said before, but The Last Tiger is my favorite. Nordley's I actually finally played through. It was it is what it is. And I don't see, I would like to chalk it up as horrible storytelling, not that great of gameplay and stuff like that, but honestly that's not the case. I can't say that's 100% the case, and that I'm not being biased by any means. And the reason I say that is because I've kind of got this bitter taste in my mouth, because like I said in many other videos before, and unfortunately will not be the last time you'll hear it because I'll be doing one more video about it, is how EA handled the whole situation with women in Battlefield. I don't like how they treated their fan base. I don't like how they reacted to the community as a whole. So my judgment's a little clouded on some aspects of the game because of this, and Nordley's is one of the ones that fall victim to it. I couldn't get behind really enjoying that game or that story. Now, a lot of it had to do though with some unrealistic aspects, and no, I'm not talking about the women in the game taking on a hydro plant. It's more about like when she falls into the river, she's freezing cold in the blizzard at night, passing out randomly, constantly, but still finding the strength to overpower a German and choke him out with his own weapon. Again, that has nothing to do with being a woman. I would find it hard to believe even with a man. I've had personal experience with going into ice cold, like literally freezing cold water, and this was during warmer weather. And when I first fell in, I was shocked, which I kind of got this when she fell in, that I couldn't move for a little bit. It was like instant, my body just locked up, and finally got through it. And when I got out of it, I couldn't just go moving along. I had to walk slowly, warm myself up, and it took me a little bit before I could start running again. I was doing the Tough Mudder, by the way. That's why I was talking about running and stuff. And I would not have had the strength to take anybody on. I was in pretty good condition at that time. Now, they got us expected to believe that she would have had the strength after doing that, and not only falling in the ice, but walking through the freezing cold snow at night in Norway, and still and constantly passing out on the way, and still being able to take out our German soldier by choking him out. And it was kind of like, it felt like something you more see in something that's not supposed to be based. And I know people say it's not realistic. You have to respawn and do all kinds of weird things you wouldn't do in real life. But what I'm saying is what they were trying to get at with this game, it just made it unbelievable. Now we're gonna get on to the glitches issues between Xbox One and PC, and again, these might be related to the regular just Xbox One and PC. I can't speak for PlayStation 4. The Xbox One is the Day 1 edition Xbox One, so the Xbox One X might be doing better with what may not have these same problems, so your experiences may vary. But one of the issues I had with Xbox One with the glitches, and these are two of the bigger ones, is I had this one match where I was playing. It was on Devastation. I can't remember what mode we were playing, but at some point in the game, I went to hit the left trigger to aim down my sight to shoot somebody, and the social menu came up. And by that, I mean the social menu when you're like in the main menu of Battlefield 5, that you hit left trigger, and it pops up, and you can either invite friends to a squad, join a squad, or create a squad. That would come up and it wouldn't go away. Now, I don't know how to fix it, because that match I was in, it was also glitched to the point where it would not end. The timer wouldn't run down, the tickets got down to 0, but it still wasn't ending, so it was a constant back and forth between us and the other team. Obviously, nobody's winning or losing, or I'm sorry, leaving, because they just want to get those kills. I mean, it's all about them kills, baby. Ungodly had the same issue last Friday. He complained about it for a while. It was on Devastation again, so I wonder if it's just a Devastation map issue. But we're doing Conquest. It was, I don't again remember what game I was playing when I played. His eventually apparently went away, unless he quit without me knowing, because he was complaining about it for a little bit and it wouldn't stop. I asked him if he wanted to quit. He didn't say anything, but then he stopped complaining. So I don't know how to fix it if you guys ever come across it. Maybe I'll ask him next time we play. Another issue I have with Battlefield 5 on the console, these are specifics, and I'll get into the ones that are like kind of universal between both platforms I play, but it's the revive. The revive is incredibly broken, and it hasn't been fixed, because at least not since Friday, or not up until last Friday. When I go to revive a teammate, 9 times out of 10 I'm picking up their gun instead of reviving them. And even if I don't pick up their gun, it's taking me forever to basically get a point. Even with it saying hit X to revive, I'll be walking over the body, hitting X, and nothing's happening. And by the time I finally start to the revive animation, and the enemy, I've taken so long to get it to happen, the enemy's rushed us and kills me before I can do the revive. Again, you may not have these issues. Maybe it's just me. I know the Xbox One is kind of dated at this point, and apparently has a lot more issues than the One X does. But it is what it is. Now, another issue that they've improved on, and something they did improve on since Battlefield 1, is the matchmaking. Now, I know it's not perfect. This is between PC and Xbox One. I know it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than what it was before, than it was from Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 was so horrible that even now it still has this issue, which baffles me why they rushed this game out if they haven't even completely fixed Battlefield 1 yet. Now, I've heard it's not as bad on the Xbox One X. I haven't played the PC or heard anybody talk about it on the PC, so I don't know if it's the same issue here. But whenever I joined up in a match in Xbox One X, or on the Xbox One, the base model, I would have to get the server ID from my friend to join because I couldn't join through him on the social menu. I couldn't join through the Xbox social menu either. And he couldn't invite me. If he invited me, it would just say accept it, and then I'll just sit there in the main menu. So we had to manually search for the server he was in to join him. And that's ridiculous. Now that issue doesn't seem to be a problem with Battlefield 5. So that's good. The load times are definitely improved in Battlefield 5 over Battlefield 1. I remember when Battlefield 1 came out, the load times are absolutely atrocious. I could make a whole dinner and eat it from scratch before the game finished loading in between matches. It was so boring. I don't even know why I kept playing. I still don't know why I went back to playing it before Battlefield 5 came out. I'm not going back to Battlefield 1 at this point. Some of the other issues I noticed on the Xbox One is with smoke and clouds. Sometimes you see a lot of squares in it, especially when it gets bright. If you look really, in fact, like in this clip I have, I'm playing on the Xbox One, so you see lines in the sky. Maybe it's because the game was rendered to perform better on the One and PS4 Pro and the PC, and they just kind of lazily put it together for the Xbox One base. I don't know if PlayStation 4 base has this issue either, but it doesn't look as clean and as smooth as it does on PC. And that with that be seen, the issues I've seen on PC is V1 rocket glitches, gun glitches on the tank, where if you're in the gunner position, you turn the gun's still pointing forward, but your hands are still acting like you're holding it, but you're holding this invisible gun shooting at the players. Now that doesn't really cause an issue. It's just real ridiculous and kind of broken. I mean, you still get the kills. It's not like it's stopping you from killing the guys that are rushing your tank or anything. It's just something you would think would be simple. It would have been fixed by now, but last time I played it, again, it still hasn't been fixed. Other complaints I have with the game involve more about the actual gameplay and less about the glitches. I mean, you all know about all the glitches that have been out since the beta and forward, and then obviously there's pre-alpha glitches, but that pre-alpha and betas I can kind of understand. Game releases I can't. So I don't need to get into every glitch as to why this game isn't as good as I say it should be. So glitches are glitches, and my biggest complaint about glitches in a game like Battlefield 5 is this is a AAA title by a big developer, and we're going through the same issues ever since Battlefield 4. I can't remember if Battlefield 3 was super glitchy. I know Battlefield 4 was the worst. Battlefield 1 is just as bad. Battlefield 5 is, I don't know, just as bad or worse than Battlefield 1 and 4 when it came out from release. But it's unacceptable. We're paying full price for a broken product that's incomplete. They need to get their act together and fix their glitches and stop releasing broken games. One or two glitches here and there is not a problem. Constant glitches to the point it makes it unbearable to play is unacceptable. So, and again, that has to do with EA's constant wanting to push out a Battlefield 5 every year now, and that's ridiculous. They need to stop. I hate that Call of Duty does it. I hate it more that Battlefield does it because I actually care more about Battlefield than I do about Call of Duty. Games need to go back to periodic releases. Now, I'm not saying 10 years before the next Battlefield releases. Maybe 2 to 3, maybe 5 years before the next Battlefield release. That gives them time to work on a new Battlefield. If they want to start at one, like say next year, good. Just don't release it for the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe, and again, I would be okay if I had to wait 5 years for the next Battlefield 5. I know there's some people that disagree with me. Some of you like the yearly releases. I do not. It's actually got to the point, if they release one next year, I'm not buying it. With everything that happened around this one and the state it was upon release, I'm not buying a new Battlefield next year if another one comes out. They need to give it time. Then EA needs to give DICE time to build a game instead of just rushing it out broken. I mean, as it was, they still pushed it back and delayed the release, and it still was garbage when it came out. Yeah, more about the gameplay. This is gonna be more focused on PC, because Xbox One and PC is gonna be about the same. But the classes are overall fairly balanced. They're definitely more balanced than it was in Battlefield 1. In my 53-minute long video, you heard my extensive complaints about that. So if you want more information about how I feel about the classes, see that. The medic class, I think, is definitely the one most lacking and needs more attention to make it feel more viable in the game. Now, I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant. I have kind of figured out the new meta to the medic, and I've actually become more effective with it. And it was just kind of off-putting that the medic, and maybe it's just me because I'm not that good. I'm sure people will say something about getting good down in the comments. But I love the medic class, and every Battlefield I play, I try to stick to the medic class. I do like having KD, but my main objective when I play Battlefield 5, or Battlefields in general, is doing the objectives and helping my team out. And if I get kills, I get kills, but I'm not going to be as worried about it. So I'm more team and objective oriented in Battlefield than I am in other shooters. Well, we'll get into that a little more in a second. So I feel like the medic class keeps getting messed with, and it's starting to get irritating. Battlefield 1 had the worst medic class out of all of them. Battlefield 5 is a little better, but still, it needs... Battlefield 3 and 4 were the best medic classes that... well, actually, no, they weren't the best. They had it right, at least. They had the medic class right. Whereas Battlefield 1 and 5, I don't think they do. Now, like I said, I've gotten better with the medic class, so... And Battlefield 5 is just... I don't know why the medic class had the learning curve compared to the other classes. Now, the guns are overall okay. Again, going back to the medic class, I wish they had more variety than just SMGs. Everybody else has multiple styles of weapons and different. It allows you to adjust your gameplay accordingly. Why can't the medic class? Now, with the guns, the time to kill when the game came out, most of the time was good. I enjoyed the time to kill when the game first came out. The only thing with me, and again, it might be just me, maybe I just need to get good, as you all are probably going to point out in the comments, especially on PC. On PC, I am actually absolutely horrible on shooters. I'm getting better, but I'm still not there. The time to kill seemed inconsistent to me. Really inconsistent. So 1 minute I can drop a guy in a second. Next minute I'm putting half a mag into him and then he dies. Again, that might have been just me. It might have been something not really time to kill. It might have been netcode or ping or something. Something wasn't right for me anyway. Let me know if you guys experienced the same issue upon release. Now, I know DICE just came out and said they messed with the time to kill recently, where they had actually 2 different versions of Conquest, where you had the new time to kill, which takes a lot longer to kill people, and then you had the core version of Conquest, which kept the time to kill from the release. And the reasoning behind this, and this pisses me off, and it further proves my point I was saying in my other video where I ranted about Call of Duty and Battlefield. They said they increased the time to kill because they found out they were losing new players. And by that, they mean players that don't normally play Battlefield. And they wanted to increase the time to kill so that it can cater to them more. Well, to me, that means players from the Call of Duty series. People that are used to Call of Duty style gameplay. And actually, well, I guess it doesn't make entire sense because... No, it does make sense. Yeah, especially when it comes to the Battle Royale of Call of Duty. The time to kill takes forever from what I've seen, unless you get lucky. Stop catering to these casual players. Battlefield is not a casual game. I mean, I'm not a hardcore player when it comes to, or competitive player when it comes to Battlefield myself, but I definitely don't consider myself a casual player. When I go into Battlefield, I'm expecting to have to work for objectives. I'm expecting to work with my team and fill my class role no matter what class I'm playing, and complete the objectives to win the match, not worried as much about kills. Now, I know majority of people are starting to worry about kills, and that goes back to Call of Duty players, and the time to kill is to cater to those people who are more worried about kills. They want to be able, if they're being shot in the back, to turn around and kill. I don't like that. If I outplayed you and got the upper hand on you by getting behind you and shooting you back, I should be rewarded. You should not be rewarded for your lack of awareness or stupidity or the lack of your teammates' awareness. Good night, the teammates' awareness in this game is ridiculous. I mean, it's not entirely their fault. The player models are incredibly hard to see on a lot of maps. I've had, when I was playing Friday, I ran into this building on, I can't remember the name of the map. It was one of the beta maps. I ran into the building, and I could not see this guy in front of me this whole entire time. And I was running around the entire building trying to figure out where he was, and I could not see him. Now, I could have probably adjusted my brightness settings and would have better luck with that. But from what I understand, I'm not the only one complaining about how hard it is to see the characters in this game. So if they fix that, that's good. It's definitely going to improve things, in my opinion. The time to kill definitely needs to go back to where it was and just make it consistent. Again, it might not have been a time to kill issue for me. It might have been ping or netcode or something. But it seemed like 1 minute I drop a guy, 1 minute I don't. And I'm not talking about at range. I'm actually talking about close quarters. Because I can understand why you're not always going to drop a guy instantly with an SMG at range. So, now, what I said in my previous video, I'm going to start wrapping this up. The tank play in this game is actually a lot of fun. I'm getting distracted again as I'm watching this video. I enjoy the tank play, gameplay. I do like the fact that you have to go back and reload your ammunition as a tank, and you can't fully repair unless you got one emergency repair, which you use once per resupply, or maybe it's once per life. Because I mean, the tanks are not useless, but they're not as effective as they have been in the past. Where if a good tank driver was there, he's constantly at the objective. There's nothing anybody could do to get rid of him because he has unlimited ammo and he can resupply or repair himself constantly as long as he's not being hit by anything. This game, a decent tank driver or tank player can go in, take an objective, clear it out, stay as long as he can to reload if it doesn't have a resupply point, and then go back to resupply and come back. That gives the enemy team a chance to come in and retake the point or set up the counter the tank when it returns. So you're not worried about a tank constantly camping. Now you can have those points like this one I'm at with Bravo has a resupply point, so I basically just sat there constantly resupplying my tank, which I'm sure the other team found annoying, and I actually didn't die until I had to go back to Alpha all by myself. And the whole team pretty much that I ran up against was all assault players, so I got wrecked pretty quickly, because especially in the Churchill gun carrier, you can only shoot forward unless you get in the gunner position, which is pretty much suicide in this game. So I died pretty fast, especially if you got a good guy that's in the tank with you in front. Like I had a friend on me that was a support guy, so he would get out and repair me after I took enough damage and then the enemy was cleared out. Or if I couldn't get a guy, he would get out and kill that guy for me. So that definitely helps. What was something I was actually thinking about too? The airplanes in this game, I don't get them that much. I suck at flying. No matter what game I'm in, I suck at flying. That has nothing to do with the game. It's just me. That is me. Now the planes were overpowered when I first released. They're definitely better now. At least on the Xbox One. I haven't played on PC. But especially when they were able to bomb you in the spawn before the game completely started was really irritating. Basically, by the time you were able to move, bombs are dropped on you. So overall, the vehicles in the games aren't bad. The aircraft, like I said, they seem like they're getting better, at least on the Xbox console. The only complaint I have with the vehicles in the game, actually I have two complaints. One is I miss the old ways when the vehicles were pre-loaded on the map and they would be at different objective points and you can get into the vehicles and drive off, and if you're on the other team, if you weren't able to capture an objective, you were able to sabotage the vehicles. Now I did that because I'm sure they did that because people complained a lot. I think Battlefield 2 was the last one that did that for the Xbox consoles. I don't know when the last PC Battlefield, I think Battlefield Modern Combat on the PC still have vehicles preloaded on the maps. I like taking off from runways and aircraft. So I miss that and being to do that because it made fun. I know people are upset like, oh, stupid campers are sitting in our flag and put landmines and C4 on our vehicles and we blow up as soon as we use them, well then, one, clear out the mines and explosives before you use them. Like, you can have like the support class or assault class be able to disarm mines and bombs. And then if you inspect your vehicle and say you want to disarm it before you drive off. But it is, instead of just taking out vehicle spawns on the map altogether. I know they still got like the half tracks and some of the troop carriers are still in the map. But tanks, I don't think they don't spawn in unless you go to the spawn menu and spawn into them. And I don't like that. I'd rather them be static and out there. Having heavy bombers back in the game probably would have been something cool. Can you imagine like in a Wellington or a B-17, you get a good squad loaded up in all the gunner positions while you're doing bomber runs and people coming in Spitfires or BF-109s and trying to shoot you down, and your teammates just get to reckon with like the ball turrets and the tail gunners and all that. That would be really fun. I can understand it'd be irritating if they allow the B-17 carry like its full bomb load. It'd just be constantly circling around the map, bombing the crap out of the map. But if you really think about it, B-17 is slow and big, and AA can probably chew it up pretty quick if a person's not careful and smart about it. So it would have been kind of cool to have something like that in there. Maybe they'll add it in. I don't know. The other complaint about vehicles, and this goes through the whole game, not with just vehicles, but classes too. When you unlock levels and specializations, you can't change it until you quit out all the way back to the menu. And that goes for the guns and adding specializations to the guns that I could see anyway. Maybe I'm missing something, but I could not change anything to the vehicle without quitting. Assignments are really bad at this too, and it drives me nuts. You know how irritating it is? I most of the time can finish my assignments in 1 or 2 matches, and then be like, hey, can I back out? I want to click my new assignments so I can start progressing further. No, you can't. So a lot of times I end up leaving my squads behind to go reassign my assignments because I'm not going to make everybody back out just for me. And then go back in and hope the game didn't fill up and then sit in the queue because somebody was probably on the queue waiting for me to leave. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happened. I don't know why you can't change your assignments, at least between matches. Maybe not in the middle of a match, but like when you're in that incredibly long load screen, I mean, I already have the ability to look at your assignments. Why not be able to change them out there? I believe Battlefield 1 lets you do that, so why can't you do that in this? And I know I'm not alone complaining about that. I know a lot of people share a lot of the same concerns when it comes to not being able to adjust things in between matches or during a match. You have to completely back out to the menu. I think you wouldn't even allow to equip new attachments or equip attachments to your gun in the beta. So they at least changed that, and that was definitely appreciated. But overall, I mean, it went over 20 minutes, but it's going to be no longer than 32 minutes, I would say. But overall, for my impression in the game, has it got me excited like past Battlefields to play? And by that, I mean 4 and older. No, not really. I get bored with this game easily and kind of just get irritated with all those glitches and issues, and the player base in it too being more casual, since that's what Battlefield or EA and DICE seem to be going for, is kind of, I don't know, it ruins it for me. I like people that actually work together, go for objectives and mission, and work as a team, and not as worried about kills. And I feel that's kind of a dying breed in the gaming community. With it being technically a reskin of Battlefield 1 with World War II look and feel to it, kind of, again, this goes back to having a yearly release for these franchises now, because I know a lot of people saying Black Ops 4 is basically a reskin of Black Ops 3, but without the campaign, with Battle Royale added, and maybe some new gadgets and features, but the graphics are the same, and the gameplay is pretty much the same. And again, I think it falls victim for the year releases for games, and I think developers need to go away from us. Go away from that. Give us a break between games, and make us appreciate the release of a new game. It benefits us because when a new one's released, we don't feel like we're just emptying out our wallets every year. We have time to appreciate the game you just worked on and just released, and really appreciate when a new one and improved and something that has something in it that makes us feel like it's actually its own game in itself and not a reskin. And it gives the developers more time to work on their product so they don't give us broken pieces of crap like these guys are these days. So they're not rushing it out for the holidays, and they're not trying to just meet quotas. That way they could have 2 to 3 years work on a game. And actually, I'm going to say 3 to 4. 3 being a minimum, 5 being the max. But 3 to 4 would be the sweet spot. Gives the developers plenty of time to work on their products. They can release alphas and betas or do CTE servers and have people invited to test them out. Because I know Jack Frags and Level Cap and other YouTubers like that are constantly invited to those things. Let them give them their feedback. And for the most part, they know what the players want and can agree. I know some people are going to argue they kind of are shills out to EA, but Jack Frags has kind of been letting EA and DICE have it in the past couple videos. I just watched his time to kill videos and kind of criticizing him because he can see what they're trying to do with this, appealing to new players by getting him to hopefully shell out money for cosmetics when they finally introduce real life money to that. So, but I know some people have their opinions about them nonetheless. But yeah, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. I'm still gonna give it pre patches. I said 4 out of 5. Or I'm sorry, 4 out of 10. I did it again. But I'm saying 3 to 3.5 out of 10. I know it's actually lower when I give it pre-patch. And then I'm not going to go above 6 out of 10 in its current state. Now, the good thing is DICE seems to be very engaged with its community to constantly work on patches to fix it, to improve its quality. So we're getting there. And if they kind of, to me, and again, I didn't get into Battlefield 1 enough, so maybe I missed some improvements. But if we can get the DICE that worked on Battlefield 4 and got Battlefield 4 to what it is now, Battlefield 4 came out, it was definitely one of the worst of the franchise. But in its current state, it's definitely up there in the top 10, maybe top 5, depending on your personal preferences. I still really enjoy the game when I go back to play it. So if DICE and EA is going to continue to show commitment to this game and continue to fix it. In fact, they seem to be more proactive about Battlefield 5 than 1 and even 4. 4, it felt like it took them a while before they got really proactive with fixing Battlefield 4. So I'm hoping that this game will get to what Battlefield 4 was by the end of it. End of its well, I mean, it's still going, so its lifespan isn't over, but you guys know what I mean. Near the end of it, if they do that, this game can be a great game. It could probably be one of the better Battlefields, aside from all the controversy behind it with women in Battlefield. I'm just talking strictly on gameplay. But I feel they continue to fix all the issues with it. Get the time to kill to stay where it is. Because I heard they're getting rid of the different playlists for a time to kill, so they'll just leave it to one time to kill for everybody because they heard everybody complain about it, which I agree. They shouldn't have messed with it and stopped. Again, this is my last time saying it in this video. Stop catering to the casual players and the Call of Duty players. Stick to your fans. Yeah, you may not be selling as much as Call of Duty, but you'll probably find our loyalty to be more important. But all they see is dollar signs. But like I said, this game can become a very great game. It's not going to be amazing. I don't think it's going to be one of the best Battlefield 5s out there, but it'll still be a better Battlefield 5 than it is now if they continue what they're doing on working on developing it and making it a more completed product. And I guess, well, I already gave my rating, but one thing I'm going to touch on, I already touched on this in my last video, is the practice rating is just a joke. Battlefield 4's was better, but you heard me in that rant, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But that's actually going to wrap it up for me in this review. I did not keep it under 20 minutes. I didn't even keep it on 30, but I definitely kept it under an hour. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think. What are your likes and dislikes about Battlefield 5? Are you excited are you glad you bought it, or are you pissed off that you wasted your money on it? Are you excited for another Battlefield, or this is going to be the last one you're going to ever buy? Are you done buying from EA? Let me know what your guys' thoughts and comments are down below. And give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I figured that I owe you guys something a little bit shorter than the hour-long video. But until then, guys, take it easy and have a good one.